All right, Cap. So these ones aren't bad. I just think that maybe some of you are looking to start something here or bring something to life and you're like hitting a block here. So this week, Capricorn, from Late Vampire, you pulled Creator, Catalyst, Maker, Mother, Father. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled Impasse. Now, Creator for me is very much like the Empress. It is a beautiful card. The blessing here says that you have much to teach. And if you must create, and you must, you are required by laws that bind together the entire natural and unnatural world to see through until you have shared what you can. It is time to create. It is time, in short, to be a maker, a parent, and a mature being. And then working with this card says that you have a creative spirit and the ability to bring to life a wonderful new project. This will bring you wonderful responsibilities and opportunities. Don't hesitate or delay. This is part of your sacred purpose. But you're hitting an impasse here. Now, the inspiration says, this is a reroute, not an ending. The path is blocked and you are at an impasse, but the goal is still there. Do not wait for your present situation to change. Stay focused and find another path. The personal question says, how adaptable am I? What does this card reveal about my feelings and my reactions to delays? The key ideas are change of direction, regroup and refocus, protection from harm, and guardian angels. So now for some of you, this may be happening on purpose. You know, when you're looking at guardian angels and protection, you know, you may be like temporarily blocked from continuing down a path that you're on because it's not going to produce the results that you're wanting. Especially if you're in creative mode here and you're trying to get something off the ground. All right, Cap, here we go. Here's the energy coming through. The Seven of Wands. I'm not taking any more shit. But for some of you, it's needing to defend yourself, needing to defend your position, but it's saying that you have the higher ground, right, with the Seven of Wands. But, you know, why is it that you're needing to defend yourself is immediately my question. But basically, you're not taking any more crap. You're not taking any more crap from anybody. That's it. This is how I feel. This is where I stand. This is what I'm going to do. And in the past, the Two of Swords. So needing to make a difficult decision. Now, it could be that this difficult decision is left you in a position now where you're having to defend the decision that you made. But, you know, we shall see here how this unfolds. But definitely in the past, sorry guys, needing to decide to do something. Oh boy. So in the present, the Emperor. Now, when it comes to the Emperor, for me, it's always, you know, getting your shit together, right? Getting control, order out of chaos. Now, for some of you, this may be dealing with an Aries, looking at the Emperor. But for a lot of you, you know, it's you stepping up here and taking a leadership position. Like, all right, you know, this is going to be difficult to do, but I'm going to have to do it. And I'm going to stand by what I've decided to do, no matter what it is. Future conditions, the High Priestess. Wow, nice. So when you're looking at the High Priestess, it is trusting in your intuition. Hidden wisdom. I kind of feel like you're trusting in what you don't know for sure is going to happen out of the decision that you made. You've basically made this leadership, you know, choice. You took that leadership stance and you've made that decision. You're defending yourself now. And I feel like with the High Priestess, you know, you may be finding some things out, definitely. But on the other hand, I think you intuitively know what it is that you need to do, but then also trusting in what you don't know may happen. You know, I kind of get the feeling for both here. Your best path to follow, to move away from that shit, move away from conflict. There's no reason why you should be wrapped up in any kind of a situation where people are challenging you. You know, especially if they were the ones that weren't able to make the clear decision, which you clearly did with the Emperor sitting here. So with the Six of Swords, it's like you need to move away from that. You don't need to be involved in that kind of conflict anymore. There's always a little bit of sadness there with the Six of Swords for me. You know, it's like this isn't something you expected to have to do or have to deal with, you know, because you made a tough choice. But damn it, you know, I feel like you're confident. You are confident in the decision that you made. Otherwise, you know, you wouldn't be like, damn it, this is what I'm doing and that's it, you know. Because you're coming out swinging here with the Seven of Wands for sure. For sure. But, you know, again, you don't want to be forever wrapped up in that kind of crap. In your environment, look at that. And I love it for you. It looks great. The Queen of Pentacles. I feel like you have a tremendous amount of confidence in yourself. Now, you know, for some of you, yeah, you could be dealing with another person here with the Queen of Pentacles, but I like what you look like in terms of what is going on with you right now and what is in your environment. You're being practical. You're being the smart one. Clearly, there are people around you that have difficulty, you know, making the hard choices. You've done it. And you look good. You look good with the Queen of Pentacles, especially with the Emperor being there. Now, you know, for some of you, if you are dealing with another person, I feel like they've got your back when it comes to this. I certainly don't feel like they're challenging you. It's possible. And you may be dealing with somebody that's challenging your viewpoint, but in terms of you, you look fantastic. Being that provider, you know, thinking practically and having a lot of confidence in yourself. And it looks really good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, your hopes and your fears, the Ace of Swords, the truth, clarity. You know, and that may be the block that you're dealing with right now is, you know, having people argue with you about the choices that you're making, you know, but damn it, you're going to do what you know is right for you. And you're coming in with truth and clarity. You know, even if it's a situation here where you're following your intuition and other people aren't agreeing with that, screw that. Because you know what the truth is for you. You know what it is that is important to you. You know, and again, I feel like looking at the Queen of Pentacles, I mean, that to me is just as good, if not better, than seeing the Nine of Pentacles sitting there with the Two of Swords. You made a really tough decision. You did. You did this. You took a leadership stance. You took control of what was going on. You look good coming out. There is no reason why anybody should be working against you. And again, you know, if you're doing this based on intuition, you know what's right for you. But I do like the Ace of Swords being here because truth. All right. We're going to take a look at this. So the Two of Pentacles, you know, and it may be having to juggle all these, you know, things that are going on in your life where you're having to move away from conflict, dealing with the conflict, the choices that you've made. You know, you may have to deal with people who don't agree with it, that, you know, maybe telling you you're just going to end up this way or that way. And you're just like juggling all these different things here. And with the Two of Pentacles, it's like, when do you get to the point where enough is enough? You know, you're going to have to decide, another difficult decision, what you need to release and let go of so that you're not constantly trying to balance all these different things out. Yeah, you need to follow your passions. Looking at the Knight of Wands. You know, it's one thing to survive and to maintain, but damn it, you can do that and follow your passions as well, looking at the Knight of Wands. And it doesn't matter, you know, the Knight of Wands for me is that type of energy here where somebody is moving forward quickly with a lot of passion. I'm telling you, having faith. There is going to be something that you're going to need to, you know, figure out. You're going to have to make a decision on what you need to let go of, right? What is it that you can set aside that you're not having to continuously balance in your life so that you have time and room to follow your passions and have faith. Oh, oh my goodness. And, you know, You do what you feel like is right for you, because you know what is right for you. You are taking responsibility for your own life. And even if you don't know for sure what is going to happen in the end, or you have not made any long-term plans, who cares? Nobody else should be arguing with you on that fact. And I kind of see that with the Seven of Wands. Like, people are like, what the hell are you doing? You don't need to be doing this. You should be doing that. And you're like, oh, hell no. I'm going to do me. Teaching by example. Hell yeah. Expansion. Expansion for me is one of those things where something in your life is expanding. Whether it's people coming through, whatever it is, it's coming from a place where there's, a love for what you're doing, a passion for what you're doing. You're living from your heart. You're not just surviving anymore. You're doing the things that you want to do. But, it could be an expansion in your awareness as well. But definitely teaching by example. I do feel like there may be some different people coming through, though, too, with expansion. But living from your heart, so important, so important. And teach people not to be so damn stupid and to stop arguing with you about the choices you make. Because if they're not capable of making difficult choices, that's not your problem, damn it. You're going to do what you need to do. End of story. Healing family issues, your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Wow. And that may be the issue too. If you have parents that are like blocking you from moving forward on things that you're wanting to do that they may not agree with. But, you need to heal whatever issues are going on within the family before you can move forward with a meaningful relationship, because that's certainly not something you want to bring into a new one either. Oh, letting go of control issues, allow the situation to unfold naturally, having faith in the process. And this may not be you. This may have to pertain to your partner as well. And I've said this before when some cards fall out, even though the reading is centered toward Capricorn, maybe your partner needs to hear this. Let go of control issues. Because definitely there is a controlling vibe there with the Emperor coming out. But I think as long as, you kind of let go of that need to defend yourself, you should be okay. But, as far as relationship goes, right? If you have to control everything in a relationship, that to me just seems like exhausting energy. You know what I mean? And maybe it's just time for you to be like the Fool. Take a leap of faith. Do something new. Do something exciting. Do something fun. You have the ability to maintain everything in your life. There's no reason why you can't do things that make you happy as well. All right, Cap. I love your readings. I love my Cappies. You guys just blow me away. And hell yeah, this reading has such a strong feeling around it. I think that a lot of you made a really tough decision. You stepped up. You stepped up big time here and took a leadership position and made a difficult decision for your own life. And you look good. You look good. And damn it, this is you living your truth. That's exactly what that is, and it looks great. But unfortunately, what's happening is you're having to defend the choices that you made. Where other people can't make difficult choices, you're making them. But now you're left to have to deal with people saying, no, maybe you shouldn't have done that. And like totally going against your own choices and your viewpoint. So Spirit here is saying that, it's time to move away from this. And that's where the sadness comes in. And I think for some of you, it may be dealing with people who you thought were going to support you in the choices that you made, but then turn around and no, what are you doing? And you're like, wait a minute, I'm doing what I feel is right for me. Now you intuitively know. You intuitively know what is right for you. And even if, you come out having to balance a few things out, damn it, life is too short for you not to follow your passions, and having faith in the process, having trust in that leap of faith and going after your passions. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you haven't looked at the long term here. Capricorn is always going to do the right thing coming out of this. But damn it, when it comes to the things that you have a passion for, you have every right to make the choices you need to follow what makes you happy. That is what living from your heart is about. And unfortunately, I feel like some of you are stuck having to defend that choice. But you know what? That's okay. because you look good. You have control over your life. You're coming in with truth and you're living your truth. And teaching these fools by example. Hell yeah. I love it. I love it. And something in your life is expanding and you are living from your heart. And it's good and it feels good and it feels right. For some of you, that there may be that block there, and that may be the block, is having to defend the choices that you're making here with what you are trying to create in your life. And it's still there. It's just that, you may have to kind of sidestep what's going on and move forward. Either these people are going to continue to look at you like you're foolish for like intuitively just going with something that you're not really sure what's going to happen, or they're going to accept it later on in the long run. They're either going to continue to fight you on it, or they're going to accept that you're making the choices to live your life the way that you choose. Now, when it comes to relationships, healing family issues, and that may be one of the problems here. For those of you who are single, if you're getting involved in a relationship, you're going to have to heal some issues here. And, in terms of a relationship, it can definitely be somebody, going against the decisions that you're making. But there's no reason why those issues can't be healed, right? Again, Capricorn always does the right thing coming out. But then letting go of control issues for those of you who are in a relationship. Right? If you're happy in a relationship and you're making some difficult decisions here, instead of like trying to control the situation, just, again, go with the flow here. Trust and have faith in the process. Even though you may not be looking at the long term or not know for sure what is going to happen, it doesn't necessarily mean that anything bad is coming your way. But as far as a relationship goes, just, let go of that. People are either going to love you and accept you for the choices that you're making, or they're going to have their own difficulties with it, but you don't have to allow it to affect your life moving forward.